Hi, my name is Nicole and I've had an abortion.
My name is Brittany and I've had an abortion.
And so today we're going to start off the show, as we have started doing for every show, about discussing a different method of birth control. And this month, the method of birth control that we're going to be talking about is Depo Provera. Some people know as the shot. So Depo Provera is taken every 3 months. I would say that it's very good for people who cannot remember to take pills, because I happen to be one of those people. And it's a long-acting formula of birth control. As with every other birth control, it has side effects.
Yes, it does. But just to discuss it a little bit further, it's given every 3 months. It's either in your upper arm or in the buttocks. It is a long-acting form of birth control, and with that being said, within 12 months of your last shot, about 68% of women become pregnant. But within 18 months of your last shot, about 93% become pregnant. So you just want to have that in consideration if you do choose to speak to your doctor about taking Depo.
Yeah, because it can only be prescribed by a doctor. It's not something that can be bought just over the shelf and that you take it home.
And also some of the side effects. One of the most common side effects is an unpredictable menstrual bleeding. Yeah, that's the most common. I've heard that a lot from women that I know personally that have taken it or that are still taking it. There's also bone loss, weight gain, breast tenderness, and headaches. As with all forms of birth control, there are side effects, but the menstrual bleeding is about the most common. We also wanted to discuss a story that's in the media right now. And one second. Okay, right now it's a story in the media about an abortion that had its complications, and this took place in Maryland. And it started off in Jersey, I'm sorry, and it took place in Maryland. A young lady was on birth control, did not know that she was pregnant because she was still having a menstruation. So she wanted an abortion in her second trimester. The complication, we can't discuss in further detail the complication of things that happen because we're not medical professionals, and we only want to shed light on this situation because this is just another reason why abortion should be discussed more openly and frequently amongst everyone, especially in the media, especially in our communities, and just for those who don't know. In her case, she didn't even know that she was pregnant. So this young woman could have been desperate or anything. Speaking from my standpoint, when I know I was definitely desperate as far as seeking or needing an abortion. But in cases like that, it's okay, and we want everyone else to feel okay with searching or seeking out more information on providers, so things like this won't happen, or just so you'll have more awareness and a better understanding of who you're going to see or things like that. Nicole, did you want to add anything to that?
Yes, I would, because I know when I was pregnant and I was seeking an abortion, I didn't tell anyone, and I was 21, and it wasn't, something that could be talked about. That's why I didn't tell anyone, because I didn't feel comfortable expressing what I was doing, because people made me feel uncomfortable about the situation. And that's why it should be discussed more openly, because when people get pregnant and they decide to come to terms with their pregnancy, that's discussed openly. And just as many women have complications or deaths during delivering of a pregnancy than they do of terminating one. So abortion is just a procedure just like any other surgical procedure, and it's something that when you go to seek, that needs to be researched and needs to be talked about, and people need to be like, oh well, this doctor has this and that and whatever. I went there. They were very good. They're, you know, a reputable doctor. Instead of, you know, people are just like, well, I don't know. You know, I've never done that before. And we all know a lot of people say they never done it and know they did, but they're just ashamed. And that's the problem that we have.
Mm-hmm. And also, like I said, the anti-choice organizations are putting it out there in the media, and they're trying to basically railroad or drag certain abortion providers through the mud. And it's hard enough as it is, and we don't have enough providers as it is, and certain states have different regulations on when you can even receive abortion, or what time. Like if there's a cutoff point where you can't even receive one in that state, or some states don't even have providers. And I just think at a time like this, with everything that's going on and elections coming up and everything that's going on, they're going to immediately try to find something that's going to aid them in taking away our right to choose to have an abortion. Do you have any thoughts just on that, Nicole?
Of course.
I know you do.
Because every election there is a big issue with this. Even with, you know, the health care reform bill that was being put through, that was the first thing that was looked at to be taken off of health care. And that is a health procedure. It's a surgery. I have the right to seek this procedure that is legal, and I have the right to be put in a healthy situation when doing it, because a long time ago it was illegal, and women that were desperate, like this young woman that could have been desperate, or Brittany herself, when she said that she, you know, when she received hers, she was desperate. They will go and they will get those back alley abortions, or those abortions by people that aren't reputable or barely know what they're doing, because it's a need for them.
Mm-hmm. And so, with that being said, we're just trying to really just shed light on this situation and try to take some of the taboo out of abortion, because it's not discussed at all. And even discussing providers, if we're not discussing the abortion itself, or even wanting an abortion or seeking an abortion, no one's going to discuss the providers, or where did you go, or what happened, how was your experience. We're not even talking about abortion itself. And we want to get people to the point where they will have safe medical abortions.
Not even just that, just safe reproductive procedures and help, just period, altogether, because it all goes into the same category. People need to know what their rights are when it comes to birth control, you know, contraceptions, the EC, emergency contraceptive, all that, because a lot of women don't know. And it's, you know, basically because there's this hold on that information, which is crazy, because to me it's a basic health right, you know, and I shouldn't have to go to the doctor and they prescribe me a birth control that I'm too overweight to take, and I take it, and then I still end up getting pregnant, and then I get into the predicament where I need an abortion, but then I can't afford an abortion, and then I have to come to terms with my pregnancy, and then I have a child that I can't take care of that keeps me further in poverty. Like, these are everyday real life things that happen that need to be stopped. And that's why it's so important that there are places like the Chicago Abortion Fund and the My Voice, My Choice leadership group. Looks like we have a caller. Go ahead, caller.